So I have this piece of scrap wood block here, and I'm thinking about using it because it already has sort of this hat shape here. I'm thinking about making a wizard with it. So I figured, you know what? Let's just do that. Let's make like a wizard face. And, you know, they have the tall hat, the long beard, the whole bit. So let's get to work. First thing I'll do is kind of shape this a little bit better. I'll sort of be sweeping backwards at how wizard hats usually are. Sort of a pointed hat. But I guess we won't really worry too much about how it looks in the back, since this is mostly just, we're just looking for the shape of the face. And how you do that is you we're going to use the front edge here like we did on the last video, but we're going to use that to sort of bring out the nose. But first, let's kind of make the brim of the hat. So let's make a cut here and sort of define the brim of the hat for this wizard. And we'll bring it around to the side here. We'll do sort of a rocking chair cut here. Cut this out. Sorry, I hope I'm not getting out of focus here. So remove a little bit more of that. And then let's do that to the other side. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of shape the hat brim by cutting away some of this excess material here. And like I said, we're not going to worry too much about what goes on the back side of this thing. We're going to mostly worry about what it looks like from the front, because I'm imagining it, you know, as sort of a Christmas ornament or something that hangs, you know, and it's not even laying flat. It's more just, you know, hanging as sort of an ornament. And so anyway, we'll kind of just shape that there, and then that should be good, at least for now, for the hat. So now let's move on to the face. Let's cut away some of this here so that way the brim kind of shows. And what we'll do is we'll get the brow sort of underneath here, and then the nose kind of sticking out. So let's sort of flatten this area here, and that will be the where the brow is. Okay. And then we'll use this corner here for the nose. Let's clean this up a little bit here. We'll use this corner for the nose. He's going to have kind of a long pointed nose, I think. I think that would be good. All right. The hat probably doesn't need to stick out this far, but it's okay that it does. So let's do the nose. So let's make a cut somewhere around, right here or so. And cut this back a little bit. Okay, a good beak of a nose here. And then let's shape this nose by making a cut down here and right here. Okay. Let's cut this away. And we'll cut this part away as well. And then we're going to have to take this back a little bit because that's a bit extreme, but for now, whatever. Just kind of a placeholder. Okay. And then we're going to have we're going to have kind of a defined mustache, but first what we're going to do is we're going to flatten this out because it's not going to be that pointed. It's kind of pointless, if you will, to have it that pointed. Okay, so let's define the sides of the mustache. So what we'll do is we'll take our knife and somewhere around the corner of the nose here, we'll cut down. Okay. And then selecting a point somewhere around here, we will cut down again. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing on this side. Make sure it's nice and deep. That cut. Okay, hopefully you can see that. And then what we'll do is we'll cut away, we'll sort of define this line here, okay? And we'll do the same on the other side. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to cut out this area right here as well. Clean that up a little bit. And this is just a 1x1, I think a 1x1x6 block that I had laying around. So that's generally about the size that I do these things. I do go bigger sometimes, but I do like these little blocks because you can finish them a little quicker. Oh man, cleaning this up is kind of a task. Okay, I think we got it. Okay, now let's do the other side. Get rid of the excess here, define this area. Alrighty, something like that. Okay, now let's get rid of this whole pointed chin area. And that will be the beard. And so what we want to do, actually, let's define this a little bit better by cutting it back a little ways on these edges here. Okay, that nose is still crazy, out of control, but whatever. We'll define it when we get a chance. So now we want the beard. We got to cut down this beard a little bit. Remove some of this. And, you know, I'm not sure how detailed we should get, but what you could do is you could take a V-gouge. Once you get this beard cut back a little bit, you could take a V-gouge and make little gouges to show the hair in the beard. So now we will define the eye sockets by just cutting back and then clipping out. You can see it sort of develops an eye socket there. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Obviously, we have to flip this thing over to do so. Something like that. Okay. Let's clean up this nose a little bit. Make it not so hooked. And it probably doesn't need to be this pointed out as it is. Oh, let me get this piece out of here. we can actually cut some of this up. And then round this off slightly. Okay, and then flatten out this area a little bit. And if we want to, we could define the cheekbones a little bit more by taking away some of this, little by little. Do the same on the other side, balance it out. Okay, and then let's make this a point, because it's his long, scraggly beard, and it can come off to an angle if you want it to, sort of sweeping to the side, you know, something like that. But for now, we'll just cut it off a little bit, point it a little bit, and make it look semi-realistic. Maybe flatten it out a little bit here. This is the basic gist of the thing, but I do want to do one thing. I have a little paint marker here, and you can either not put the eyes at all, so it looks like it's just in shadow or whatever, or you can make just some little black eyes. That kind of shows how it'll be. I mean, obviously you'd want to paint it up, make it look a little more finished. Speaking of which, I should round this off here, and then round this off as well. We'll make the mustache a little more prominent. So here's what it'll look like once it's finished, and something like this, and then you'd paint it up, you know, maybe give him a gray hat or something, and then do the skin color, sort of a peach color for the skin, and then maybe a white beard, maybe starting right here going down to his mustache, and you'd want to paint down. It'd be all white here, maybe a gray hat, like I said, peach colored skin. And that's about it. Thanks for watching.